morning. Ooh, I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and obviously that's the frozen north if you live in the U.S. I am surprised, like continually surprised. I mean, I was born in San Francisco, raised in California, and then lived in the West Coast, or the west part of the U.S. all my life. There and up in Sacramento, and then in Phoenix for a while, and Idaho for a while, and then Phoenix again for another dozen years or so. And so everything's been west of the Rockies, more or less. But anyway, in that whole time, I knew where Canada was, right? And I knew the name of most of the provinces, and even the capital of some of them. And I visited Canada a time or two in my old career. But you know what? I didn't know very much about it, and I'm staggered now, having become a Canadian citizen and lived up here now for a dozen years in a couple of different stints. How little I knew about it. How embarrassing. I want to talk about something today. What are you tolerating? What are you tolerating in your life? And I want to talk about that for two reasons, because there's two important things coming up. So hang with me. Hang with me to see what's coming, okay? I just noticed that, we'd had a bitter cold 3 weeks in December. And by bitter cold, I mean minus 20, 30, 40, and that's Celsius, which is about 0 to minus 40 Fahrenheit for those of you that do Fahrenheit. And I still have I'm not as smooth with that transition as I could be. But anyway, and then we've had this really mild stretch where lots of the snow melted. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still snow outside. We have perma snow from November to April in the yard, always. But it melted half of it, maybe. Anyway, we're going to go down for another week in the cellar, down to Fahrenheit. It'll be 0 to minus 10 or 15 over the next week or so. And then I don't know after that. On the phone, you get about a 10-day forecast. I want to ask a question. What are you tolerating in your life? Because I was just editing a book. I'm editing a book right now called The Sovereign Architect. And it's about making a conscious, intentional choice to live life by design instead of default. And I have discovered some tools to make that happen. And they're not magic and they're not new, but ways to use them that marry with AI and that take the most advantage of us. Now, we all know that we as humans are living far below our capacity. That's not news. But most of us don't have the courage or the knowledge about how to take advantage of that fact. So that's what I'm about. You see this thing right here? DreamBuildWriteIt.com. Next week, a week from today, the 23rd, I'm starting a book challenge. You have a story, and it ought to be a book, period. End of conversation. Now, you don't have to do it, and I'm not telling you what to do. But if you want to make a difference in the world, the discipline and work required to do that, to think through your own personal developmental story. Like, I don't mean the story about a single event of your life. I'm talking about the series of events that shaped your life, that made you into the amazing, powerful, beautiful, capable, wonderful, driven person you are right now, right today. And I love you for that. So many people I get to talk to, people I interview on podcasts, people I interview on LA Talk Radio that have stories and determination and decisions to go forward and do good. And they're doing it, adding good to the world in amazing ways. You are one of them. And so my invitation to you is two things. This Wednesday, day after tomorrow, I'm going to give a concert. It doesn't cost anything. But I'm asking for you to come for an hour of your time. Why? Because there's 9 original songs and the stories behind them that represent the path of all of our journeys in the world. And next week, DreamBuildWriteIt.com. DreamBuildWriteIt.com. Now, if you want to get tickets free to come to the concert, go to my Facebook profile. Just me, my regular profile, not business page or anything. And there's an event there, and you can sign up on the Zoom link. I would just invite you to do that. Not because I'm so important, but because this is carefully crafted to love you. It's carefully crafted to lift you and bless you. So 2 invitations. Wednesday for a concert, next week to learn why and how to write that book that's burning inside of you. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about for a minute is tolerating. What are we, each individually tolerating in our lives that we kind of wish would change? I wish the other person, somebody else would get elected in the U.S. There's a big controversy about president. I think some of it's fake because it only seemed to happen with this president both times, but whatever. I don't know. You know, I'm a Canadian. Well, I'm both U.S. and Canadian, but watching from outside, so it isn't as the daily noise in my face like it might be for you. But you know what I notice when I go to the U.S.? I don't see it. Like I just spent, like in the last year, I've spent probably 7 different times in the U.S. For a few days or a week doing different conferences and things, and I just don't see it. That what the news creates, whatever channel you watch, is just hype. But anyway, you know that already. My question's more personal. What are you tolerating in your life? What fear, what doubts, what excuses are you tolerating in your life? And this is not chastisement. This is an invitation for you and me to step into your greatness. Man, I hate that. To choose to move into the truth of who you are. What is that truth? Well, your worth is infinite. You're a divine being, and you know that. Your possibilities for all of us are way bigger than we're doing, and we own our lives, not the government, not the elections, not the right or the left or any of that. We get to choose who we are, what we stand for, and how we show up. Isn't it time for us to do that in complete wholeness, connected to who we are? 2 invitations. Go to my Facebook page. Where the Light Finds You is the name of the concert. And then the challenge to discover your story next week. DreamBuildWriteIt.com. I'd love to see you there. Neither one of them is asking for cash, but they do ask for time. Bless you. I love you.